Okay, let's do this. This is the end of week, I don't even know. This is the end of week 2, so this is the start of week 3. We used up a third of our time. We made some pretty good progress, actually. We're still a little bit behind, but I'm hoping we can catch up if we just work a little extra. So, we voted to use a wide drivetrain along with a catapult design and a roller similar to some of the Robot in 3 Days designs use. Began dimensions. The biggest thing that was killing us was the PO because people don't know how to order things. So then that went on for a while. The drivetrain group finished the drivetrain and then took it apart and put it back together. So that was going on. Paul was working on a CAD model. Marketing and media came up, they came up with a list of imagery ideas, and then we voted to use a Draken theme, which is a Greek dragon essentially. So I don't know how that's gonna work, but we've got some pretty smart people in marketing and media, so they can figure it out. And then the PO was finished on Tuesday. More or less, we're still ordering things, which is really obnoxious. Because it takes a freaking week to actually place the PO, and then it takes another week for things to actually arrive. So then, we're going to be getting stuff by the end of week 3 to beginning of week 4, if not later. So let's see. So we've been working on the MasterCAD. Things are starting to come together. The t-shirt designs and button rules, those are sent out. People are sending in designs, even now. So originally the catapult design a couple days ago got scrapped because originally it used a linkage system. So essentially, it's really hard to explain, but what essentially would happen was instead of you wouldn't have to. Okay, so for a winch, you have to rotate the thing, and it gets to a certain point, and then you release it. It's essentially freewheeling. It's something you're supposed to avoid. With this particular system that we came up with, what would happen is you wouldn't have to freewheel, so you just spin in one direction, and it would pull back and launch. Except physics teacher did the math, and it turns out the system doesn't actually. The entire system goes through too much tension. So we've had to revert to a traditional catapult design with springs and all that. Gather was doing dimension integration software. They did PID on our BunnyBot robot. Let's see if that could work. There were a group of people working on the bumpers. They've made prototypes. Supertester made more electronics boards. We're starting to lose a bit of interest in the Supertester, but there is still some. So it's just kind of a nightmare because we need qualified people to work on the Supertester, and not only do we not have those people, but we're also working on the robot simultaneously, which is just sort of, yeah. Electrical board group, they had a group doing mapping. The business plan, the rough draft of the business plan was done, so we proofread it, which actually was kind of fun, but then Catapult's new design was then prototyped. Gather that they made mounts for the drivetrain. Software they experimented with PID, and they found a glitch, and they tried to fix the glitch. Supertesters were having problems with programming the chips because they need a certain software. Electrical board, they made a preliminary map or which is bound to change. And then they drew a wire maps so software's life is like 10 times easier. And yesterday, drivetrain, they switched gears. Catapult, it turns out springs don't actually work, so they had to switch to surgical tubing. The gatherer made their mounts. Chairman's rough draft was finished and proofread, and they began their storyboard. So yeah, it's been going on. It's actually going decently. This game is just really, really, really obnoxious. Oh my god, okay. I'm gonna go now. It's like 11 o'clock. It's really cloudy outside. The good news is that we got our stuff from First Choice, so that's good. Okay, I'm gonna do some homework, and then maybe some Fruit Ninja, I don't know. There's a meeting at 1, so I'm gonna go to that. And then the cycle's gonna repeat again, and in about a week, I'll make another one of these, and hopefully not delete it. Goodbye.